The last church camp I was ever at, I brought a wax pen and was zooted the entire trip. Probably wasn't my best idea, and I'm definitely going to hell for that one, but woman with medium dark skin tone shrugging. Anyways, there were tons of other churches there, so our church split off to have a little family meeting type thing. I'm high off my fucking ass. No clue what we were talking about, but the youth pastor starts going off on a tangent, and then she says, and I fucking quote, "I'm so proud to say that none of you have ever shown up to one of my lessons high or drunk. It took all my willpower, everything inside of me not to burst out laughing." I'm pretty sure I laughed like 5 minutes later, cause 1, I was high, I had no concept of time, it felt like that shit went on for hours, and 2, I couldn't stop thinking about it, so anyways I laughed. Then I had to cover it up as a cough and tell everyone I was starting to get a cough. Later someone asked me about my cough and I completely forgotten I had said that, and they had to explain to me. I told them I was getting a cough neutral phase. I was in 7th grade and my class went to a class trip. Another class with 9 graders went to the same place, and the brother of a really good friend of mine was in that 9th grade. So we always had to give our teacher our phone at night time. One day my really good friend, let's call her Amy, told us that her brother's class could order pizza. So later that day we all had to bring the teacher our phones, and I was mad about that, so I gave it to her and went away and said to my friend that it's not fair that the older ones can order pizza and we are not even allowed to have our phones at night. The stupid ass teacher heard that shit and snitched on them in the 9th grade, and the brother of Amy got in big trouble cause they weren't allowed to order pizza. So Amy was really mad at me and she didn't talk to me anymore. After the trip, like, the whole girls didn't really like me anymore and I didn't really know why. 1 year later my friend came to me and I told her about it, and she told me that stupid bitch Amy told the whole class that I went up to the teacher and snitched on her brother, so nobody liked me. At the end I had to apologize to that bitch, but it was never like before all that happened, and I think she and her friends still don't like. Let's talk about the time I threw a big fat caca onto my teacher. I was dancing in class because I am a baddie. I am so baddie, so I stand on the desk and start twerking cause I can do whatever I want. And then I felt a big rumble jumble up in my tum-tum and I knew I had to take a big fat juicy poop. My stomach was grumbling louder than the hurricane across my street that blew up a week ago. So I clenched my butt cheeks and held my butthole shut. But that wasn't enough, I felt my poop ready to explode, so I grabbed a chip clip and clipped my butthole shut and kept dancing. I couldn't hold it anymore, so I blew a big fart out of my butt crack and a huge poop fell onto the desk. I threw it at my teacher's face, and that's it. One time I was in school and I had this one teacher that always got on my last motherfucking nerves. The bitch kept picking on me for no reason. She would give us these big ass crispy fucking packets of work, and I'm not gonna lie, I was not doing them shits. It was too much like, oh, you're not my only goddamn teacher, but eventually I started doing them, and she always had to pick on me by taking a point off for every little thing. She wasn't doing that to the other students that were making the same minor mistake, like forget to put your last name and the date and little shit like that. And then on top of that she kept calling my mom for every little thing. She also told me I would never be successful. One day I was so sick of this prissy fish looking big body little head ashy ass bitch of a teacher, so one day, when she wasn't in the room, I drew all over her board with a permanent Sharpie marker. I carefully took all the papers off her desk and put them under the desk scattered. Then I unplugged the computer and yanked the fuck out of a cord so that the computer wouldn't work, and since it's school property she would probably have to pay for it. I don't give one fuck if what I did was too extreme. She shouldn't have gave me a hard ass time every day. Story time. So my brother had this crazy ex-girlfriend, and I mean like super fucking crazy, and at first she was super shy and sweet, but out of nowhere she started to be a bitch. Like, she was so toxic to my brother, and he's so sweet and didn't deserve to be in that relationship. Anyway, so she hated me so much for some stupid reason. Like, I think I've only talked to her like twice, and she would always tell my brother how she wanted him to cut me out of his life, and he obviously didn't cause I'm his sister, but this stupid big fat oompa loompa no eyebrows having ass decided to text me and get her friends to harass me on Instagram, and she made about 10 different accounts just to bully the way I look when this bitch is 10 times my size. Once she even threatened to kill me and called me her worst enemy. Like, this bitch was 19 picking on a 15-year-old. How petty can she be? Child. Anyway, so after her literally making 10 different accounts just to be all petty and tell me she hates me, I told my mom and we were gonna file a restraining order on that oompa loompa, but of course my brother told her before we did, and she hasn't messaged me since, and let me tell you, I'm so excited for her to So one time in like 3rd grade there was this one kid that no one liked, so I chose to sit next to him because I was a very nice child. So anyways, I sat next to him and he smelled like cheesy pretzels and hummus. Anyways, he was really weird and started to touch my hair and smell it, and I was really uncomfortable anyway, so I went to the bathroom and I washed my hair off because there were like chips in it because Said he was eating chips and then he walked into the bathroom and tried kissing me and I pushed him against the wall and yelled at him, "Get the fuck away from me, you weird ass Oompa Loompa big ass nose see. Rusty Butcher's freak," and he started to cry and I just walked away and he asked the teacher to move his desk and we never talked since. Grinning face with clenched teeth. In like 5th grade there was this rich bitch who thought she was the shit OFC, so me and my friend were talking shit at her. I'm gonna use her real name cause she is a bitch. So Grace texted my BSF that day at recess she was gonna yell at us. We were like okay, so the whole recess she told almost every girl in the grade that me and my BSF were talking shit at them cause she too much of a pussy to come up to us alone, even the weird kids who she would never talk to. So anyway, she spends like 10 minutes doing that and then in the last 5 minutes she has a whole ass cult of at least 20 girls and she comes up to me and my BSF and screams and gets all up in our face and screams, "Stop calling me a liar," and some more shit, and me and my friend were like, "Bitch, what?" Grinning face with big eyes. Anyways, my friend starts to roast the shit out of her like the baddie she is, and yeah, we snitched and she got suspended. She's a Scorpio too, suak. When I was a tiny baby, my mother let me and my twin sister to play with her rocks that she collected one time while she was putting towels away. Little did she know, my dumbest decided to swallow one of the rocks, and when my mother got back, she noticed that I was crying and pointing at my mouth. She rushed me to the doctors and they've used an X-ray for the rock. They said that I would eventually poop it out, and turns out the next day I did. I have bowel cancer. Grinning face. Smiling pile of poo. Cross-eyed grinning face with stuck-out tongue. Sparkles. Woman fairy.